Hey, what's up everybody? This month we're on streamers for the beginner fly tying box. So I'm going to show you a simple streamer pattern that is actually really effective the way I like it. I just call this the bunny man. Couldn't come up with a better name for it just because it's all bunny hair. But we're also featuring a metal head here from Rivers Wild Flies. You can purchase those at Sportsman's Warehouse. And they make for a cool head, gives it just enough weight, but this thing really swims and it catches just about any type of fish that wants to eat another fish. So it's a great little streamer pattern, but pretty simple for a beginner box. So I'm going to show you how to tie it. So we're just starting off with a Daiichi 2220 hook, and I have a little bit thicker thread. This is 140 denier. You could do 210 denier. You don't want anything lighter than that. And we'll just start our thread over the top away from us and just capture that excess and just tie it down as we take our thread back towards our tie-in point directly above the barb of the hook there. So I'll just continue to take my thread back there, and that's where we're going to tie in our straight cut. We'll use olive on this one. Straight cut. So when we say straight cut, what that means is this rabbit hide has been cut or stripped in the same direction as the hair, so the hair kind of flows straight with it. You can kind of tell like that. We're also going to be utilizing cross cut in this fly. So as you can see, this one, the hide was cut opposite of what the hair is flowing. So the strip is going this way, but the hair is going that way. So we'll use both in this fly, but for the top we're going to use just this straight cut. So I'm going to tie this in for a tail here, and I want the tail, the hide, to stick out pretty close to the length of the hook shank, something like that. Now I'm going to just part these, so it helps if you can get your fingers a little wet, because then you can just pull that rabbit hair back and it stays out of your way. And I'm just going to drop my thread over about 3 times right there, and each time just give it a little tug so it bites down into that hide and secures that rabbit hair to the top of my hook. Okay, now we'll just take the rest of the hide and just lay it back out of the way. Let's bring our thread just up underneath in front and advance it just slightly, maybe to above the point of the hook right there. And this is where we'll tie in our cross cut. Okay, so this is important. I've got the top side of the hide there, or the strip. There's the underside. So I'm going to tie it in so the top is facing me and the hair is pointing down. Now if you need to, you can maybe strip some hair off of there. We just need a little section there that we can tie in. So I'm just going to hold that against the hook there with my thumbnail and just make 2 or 3 good tight wraps and tie down that rabbit hide there, like so. Okay, now we can advance our thread. Got a little olive hair on there towards the eye of the hook. Now I'm not going to go right to the eye. I need to keep my spacing there. I need about an eye length back, so I'm going to stop everything about right there. So let's come to about right there. And now I'm going to take my rabbit hide and I'm going to stand it straight up, so the hair now should be pointing towards the back, and I can wrap this over the top away from me and just make nice tight wraps. You can actually pull on that hide just a little bit, stretch it just slightly, and just make nice wraps so that hair lays over the previous wrap like that. We can kind of stroke it back there. Let's do probably 1 or 2 more turns. Now the thing I have to be careful, it's very easy to crowd up here the head, so I'm about right there. I need to tie that off. So let's hold that straight up in the air, and we'll bring our thread over once. Now I'll grab it from underneath and just kind of slightly pull it towards me as I pull the hide away from me with my right hand. And we'll go twice, kind of bites it down in there. And 3 times, like so. Okay, now we can hold that hide straight up in the air. Come with our scissors. Now be careful, if you press down like that, you'll probably cut your thread, so just come up there along the top. We can cleanly cut that hide off. You're going to have a little bit of excess there. Let's just take our thread now and just try to make a little thread base and tie that down and taper it towards the eye of the hook, like so. And again, I'm going to leave about an eye length open. Alright, now I'm going to pull the olive over the top, but you know, you got all that white hair there on top. Let's just kind of slowly just give it a little part there at the back, like that. Just kind of get it laying to the sides. And now we can pull that olive over the top, and we are going to tie that down right there. Try not to stretch too hard, just nice and tight. And once I get it how I want on top, pinch it right there. Again, moisten up your fingers, wet your fingers a little bit, and you can pull that, part that hair back right there where you pinched. And we'll drop our thread over again about 3 times each time. Just give it a little bit of a tug there to tightly secure that hide in against the hook there. Alright, now we can just come in here cleanly and snip this excess. And you'll have a little bit of hide showing there. I'm not too worried about that. We'll just make a couple good tight wraps right there, like so. Alright, again, I'm leaving that slightly open. Let's do our whip finish. Now again, if you could really jazz this fly up if you wanted to put flash down the sides or flash on top. You could put a little bit of a red throat gill plate deal there if you wanted. Any of that stuff. So I'm just going to whip finish right on top of my thread right there. We're going to throw down some super glue here in just a minute. So alright, we can tie that down. Alright, let's just kind of clean that back. Now what we're going to do is I have one of these metal heads here, like this. How these work now is you can slide these right up over the eye of the hook. Now sometimes they don't want to cooperate. Like this one's a little tough to get through there. Sometimes there's little burrs. You might have to manhandle it, put it on an angle because that eye's angled down. You might have to wiggle that on. There we go. And that's going to ride on there just like that. We're actually going to glue that on there right there just like that in place. So let's actually take it off here. That one's a little tight. Okay, now I'm just going to take some Zap-A-Gap here and put a drop right there, and then just bring it right down slightly like that over the end, not over the eye of the hook, obviously. And we'll just position that on there, and then hold it in place. And I like to just hold it in place for like 10 seconds. Reattach our thread there. And just try to make some clean wraps right up in front there. And that keeps that head from kind of slipping off the front. Okay, now we'll whip finish again. And then I like to come back again and put a little drop of Zap-A-Gap right there. And then that's pretty much locked in there. Alright, now we got to do the eyeballs. You can prep these beforehand and put eyeballs in there. That Liquid Fusion you can buy at craft stores is a good glue to use to glue your eyes in. It's not as messy. I'm just going to actually slide an eyeball in there in the socket like that, and then just come back with my glue and just put a little, spread a little bit around there and just kind of let it soak down in there. Probably not the cleanest way, but I don't really have to mess with it, and that seems to keep them in there. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side.